One of the joys of when you breed something new is you get to name it. So this is one of my new cucumbers. I get to name it. Its name is Martini, named one afternoon with a friend. The future of agriculture is certainly going to look different. Every growing season now is looking different than the last. A lot of the stability we've counted on has looked different. People are increasingly concerned about all the synthetic inputs that are going in. In plant breeding, we're looking for different plants we can combine to be able to get the best of both. I do a cross-pollination, so simply moving pollen from one plant to another. Something bees are doing naturally in the garden, but I'm doing it with more guidance, more direction. Each summer we're planting out hundreds of each cross we've been interested in, finding the best of the best and saving seed from that. It's a lot like an evolutionary process where every year it's the survival of the fittest. In here is where we keep all my seed. Here in these seed packets, we have all the crosses, the pollinations, the seed from all the plants that served as the foundation for much of the vegetables we eat. The point of keeping a library like this is the environment around us continues to change. We need to also continue to adapt the plants. Whenever there's a new disease that emerges or a new trend, being able to go back to seed like this is the key to make forward progress. So we're in one of my squash breeding greenhouses here at Cornell, where we're doing a bunch of cross-pollinations between different butternut squash varieties. They each have a tag that talks about who mom and dad were on the cross, and hopefully we'll be creating some much more flavorful, nutritious squash that are disease-resistant, abundant harvests, and they also have some real consumer-driven traits. We can do things as we select vegetables to have them be more resilient in different environments, to be able to withstand everything the environment throws at it, and then really still get a great harvest of a classic that people know and love.
So broccoli is currently grown almost entirely on the west coast. On the east coast, it's generally too warm on growing season nights, and so we want to expand that broccoli industry from just the northernmost county in Maine, where it's cool, so that we can have production up and down the east coast, and so that it's available all year long from somewhere on the east coast.
One thing we're really focused on in the east is getting a good dome on it. So here's one with a really good dome. We would call this the ice cream cone style. We need them to shed water. If they collect water, you can get rot. This one was damaged a little bit. You see how quickly they rot. So we're really looking for a high dome. That's something really important to eastern growers. Western growers, it's often not rainy, or it'll be foggy in the morning and sunny in the afternoon, so they don't get the head rot issues that we get in the east.
A lot of what we develop here is going to find a home in a seed catalog or a new variety that might be being grown at your local farmer's market. Now the consumer is starting to appreciate quality again, so hopefully we're working toward a much more sustainable, delicious food system. These are in the butternut family. The stems are solid, not hollow. There's insects of vine borers will go inside, tunnel inside, and it's not that they're drilling holes through the stems, but that they get inside the stems. They're hollow, and so there's insects inside the plant. And so since these squash have naturally solid stems, they're just naturally a plant that those insects leave alone. They're a big challenge in the southern US, and as they're moving up the East Coast, well, it's going to be a challenge here soon enough. We've been making vegetables smaller. Instead of diluting all the nutrition, all the plant's energy out, you're shrinking it into a very small, compact fruit where you get a lot more sweetness, a lot more flavor. The impetus for us to start doing smaller vegetables came from a chef. We do a lot of work with a chef, Dan Barber, and on our quest to have more flavor concentrated produce, smaller also came along with it. We make vegetables that are distinctive. We can add stripes and different colors, have ripeness indicators so someone can know when something is at its peak. Something that looks a little different than we expect might actually be the most delicious and the most sustainable harvest.
Hey NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.